Grivarada Jaya Yasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tirabhanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tirabhanachari Yamuna Jayara Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Grivaradari Gopi Jana Balaba Grivaradari Jaya Gopi Yasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tirabhanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tirabhanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Haribo, 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 Nityago, Haribo. Jayam Vishnupāda Paramahansa Paribhra Kacharya Stuta Sutasa Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupāda Paramahansa Paribhra Kacharya Stuta Sutasa Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. His Confounder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem Sikha Sri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Sri Sri Radha Kṛṣṇa Gopa Gopina Samakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana ki. Vrindavan Dham ki. Mayapur Dham ki. Dwarka Dham ki. Jagannath-puri Dham ki. Ganga Maya Manamaya ki. Tasi Devi Bhakti Devi ki. Sri Nitai Gaurachandra ki. Sri Kṛṣṇa Balaram ki. Sri Radha Sundar ki. Harinam Sankirtan ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. Hitai Gopi Manande. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Homagana Timandasha Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksu Sumrita Yena Tasma Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manadusha Shapita Yena Bhutale Sanya Rupa Kadama Yadadati Sampadantikam Vandeha Sri Guru Srita Padakamalan Sri Guru Vaishnavascha Serupan Sakyata Sagana Raghunatha Vitanta Sajivan Sadvaitan Sabhaduta Parijana Saitan Sri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Kṛṣṇa Parasagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Vitamscha He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kancha Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamama Hari Vanchaka Patarubhyascha Kripasyunji Bevacha Patitanam Pavana Bebhyo Vaishnava Bebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Kṛṣṇa Pima Padayate Kṛṣṇaya Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Namine Gauratu Se Namah Sri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Kṛṣṇa 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ananda Lilamaya Vigrayo Mabada Vichari Sundaraya Tasnamaha Premarasa Padaya Chaitanya Chandraya Nama Namastute Chaitanya Chandraya Nama Namastute. So I thank everyone for being here for the Bhagavad Gita class. And also those who are watching from Vrindavan TV. So we are on the chapter of the three modes of material nature, the three gunas. How everyone is in this material world is affected by it, and all our activities, which is all been directed by the material energy, It's all according to the influence of the three modes of material nature. So Lord Kṛṣṇa is going to be describing the results of the influence of the different these three modes of material nature. So we have the verse on the board, chapter 14, text 17. Yeah, correct? So you can now chant after me. Sattvāt sañjāyate jñānam rajaso lobha pramāda-mohau tamaso bhavato ajñānam sattvāt sañjāyate jñānam rajaso lobha pramāda-mohau tamaso bhavato ajñānam sattvāt sañjāyate jñānam rajaso lobha pramāda-mohau tamaso bhavato ajñānam pramāda-mohau tamaso bhavato ajñānam pramāda-mohau tamaso bhavato ajñānam ladies, sattvāt sañjāyate jñānam rajaso lobha tamaso bhavato jñānam sattvāt, from the mode of goodness. Word for word meaning. Sañjāyate develops. Jñānam, knowledge. Rajasaḥ, from the mode of passion. Lobha, greed. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Pramāda, madness. Mohau, an illusion. Tamasaḥ, from the mode of ignorance. Bhavataḥ, develop. Ajñānam, nonsense. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. Purport. Since the present civilization is not very congenial to the living entities, Kṛṣṇa consciousness is recommended. Through Kṛṣṇa consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. When the mode of goodness is developed, people will see things as they are. In the mode of ignorance, people are just like animals and cannot see things clearly. In the mode of ignorance, for example, they do not see that by killing one animal, they are taking the chance of being killed by the same animal in the next life. Because people have no education in actual knowledge, they become irresponsible. To stop this irresponsibility, education for developing the mode of goodness of the people in general must be there. When they are actually educated in the mode of goodness, they will become sober, in full knowledge of things as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous. Even if the majority of the people are not happy and prosperous, if certain percentage of the population develops Kṛṣṇa consciousness and becomes situated in the mode of goodness, then there is a possibility for peace and prosperity all over the world. Otherwise, if the world is devoted to the modes of passion and ignorance, there can be no peace or prosperity. In the mode of passion, people become greedy, and their hankering for sense gratification has no limit. One can see that even if one has enough money and adequate arrangements for sense gratification, there is neither happiness nor peace of mind. That is not possible because one is situated in a mode of passion. If one wants happiness at all, his money will not help him. He has to elevate himself to the mode of goodness by practicing Kṛṣṇa consciousness. When one is engaged in the mode of passion, not only is the mentally unhappy, but his profession and occupation are also very troublesome. He has to devise so many plans and schemes to acquire money, enough money to maintain his status quo. This is all miserable. In the mode of ignorance, people become mad. Being distressed by their circumstances, they take shelter of intoxication, and thus they sink further into ignorance. Their future in life is very dark. Jñānaṁ sañjāyate. Okay, sattvāt sañjāyate jñānam, rajaso lobha evacha, pramāda-mohau tamaso, bhavato jñānam evacha. So Lord Kṛṣṇa is continuing his teaching to Arjuna. He said from the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. So basically, everyone in this material world is mad. Everyone is mad in the material world because everyone wants sense gratification. And in the absence of the adequate sense gratification, so people, they engage in intoxication, drinking, alcohol. And you do this, you simply become like a crazy person. Because intoxication makes the mind very disturbed. So the mind is disturbed, and when the mind is disturbed, then ultimately there's what we call derangement. So, but Lord Kṛṣṇa is saying, sattvāt sañjāyate jñānam, that knowledge must be developed from the cultivation of sattva, mood of goodness. There is one famous popular book. This book said, how will a monk sold his Ferrari? So it's basically a book which is about one corporate person, successful person in the material world, how, because he could not find happiness in this, so he went to search for spiritual life. He went to search for spiritual life, and all his belongings, he gave them up. His Ferrari, he sold his Ferrari. Ferrari is a very car for, it's a very luxury car, Ferrari. It's only the rich people that can afford it. Ferrari is a vehicle which costs around $300,000. And if you have to import it to India, the government will charge you additional 3 times the cost as a tax. So which means the vehicle is costing you like 3 crore rupee, but the government will charge you another 6 crore rupee as an import duty. So which means only very, very rich people can afford it. So if you're in Delhi or Bombay, you can see some of those cars. The successful actors, sportsmen, so they have this Ferrari. But Ferrari is a car whereby you need a good road. You need a road whereby you cannot be disturbed, because Ferrari is the fastest car. And you need when you start it up, within 20 seconds, you're already going above 50 kilometers per hour. You guys go very fast. But in India, there's no such a road in India that where you can actually adequately drive Ferrari. The roads, small, lot of potholes, so many things. So how can you drive Ferrari? So which means those who actually have it here, they only have it just as ego boosting, false ego. Because you cannot really drive it. How are you going to drive Ferrari in Vrindavan? It's not possible. But people that have it just for ego boost, that yes, I have this car, I have this expensive car. Only by ego only. But you have this car, what happiness does it give you? No. No happiness. It doesn't give you any happiness. Because there's no amount of material prosperity that one may have that can give one happiness. There's no. He mentioned here that, the rajaso lobha, that Raja the mode of passion produces greed. Because in the material world, everyone is very, very anxious. Is very, very desirous to attain things. So everyone is very greedy for materialistic achievement. Everyone is very, very greedy for material success. Everyone is greedy for material success. In America, we call it a cat race. Like, for example, in a city like New York or San Francisco, Los Angeles, those cities, everyone, like from early morning, people are going to work. They have to drive the car. They have to drive for maybe 2 hours to get to work. And everybody is busy, running. We call it a rat race. The rat race, whereby everyone is simply busy running for material success. And because the whole society is built for that, the whole society is built on that basis. So everyone is doing this. Everyone is doing that. Everyone has to run. Everyone has to, so that they can make it in the material world. They can make material success. And material success means you have a nice car, you have a nice house. And especially if you're a single person, which most people are in the West, means you have a nice girlfriend so that you can enjoy yourself on the weekends. I remember there used to be one song, kind of modern song, because in the West, people work from Monday to Friday. They work from Monday to Friday like a dog, and then on Friday night, they go to club to dance on Friday night. So the song said that, Friday night, just got paid. Now I have to go and, have a good time. Just got paid on Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday. Saturday you sleep, and a Sunday you watch sports. And then Monday again, the same repetition of struggling, of working, and all that is there from morning till evening. So in reality, how do you actually enjoy yourself? Where's the real enjoyment? There's no enjoyment. Yes, because in order to, especially if you have achieved a particular status in the material world, you have to keep working to maintain that status. You have to keep working to maintain the status because there's a principle we call, in economic terms, that's what we call the law of diminishing returns in the economic, the law of diminishing returns. So which means when there's something, there is always diminishing. Let's say you have 1 crore rupee in a bank. And you have 1 crore rupee in the bank, but because you have to maintain yourself, you have to live. So you cannot just sit back and just because you say, okay, I've got this 1 crore rupee now I can just relax and maintain myself. Because the more you spend, the more money you spend, the more everything will diminish. The more you spend, the more everything will diminish. So this is what we call the law of diminishing returns. So which means, if you don't want it to diminish, so you have to keep working. You have to keep working, and of course, you are working also. Then, whatever money you make, somebody is always behind your back to take some of it. So in the materialistic life, which is based on the mode of passion, No one is happy. No one is happy in the materialistic life, which is because everything is based on the mode of passion. There is no happiness. The result of it is sorrow. Like Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that when you have a desire, you have one particular desire to get something, but once that desire is fulfilled, again you want something else, because there is never any satisfaction. It's very, very hard to find someone in this world who say, okay, I've got so much money, now I have enough satisfaction, I can just sit down and enjoy myself. You want to chase opposite sex, there's never any satisfaction. The more you get, the more you want. This is what the mode of passion bring. So therefore I say rajaso, lobha, the greed. There is no end to greediness. The greed for sense gratification, there is no end to it. The greed for mundane achievement, there is no end to it. You can go all over the world, you will never find anyone who said that, oh, I've got enough. Everyone want more of what they get, want more, because the hankering is always there. The hankering is always there. That's why Krishna says, do spirit na cha. There's always hankering because, you have a desire. So desire because you are pouring fuel into flame. So the flame will always go on a higher. The more fuel you put into the flame, the higher up the flame will be. So similarly, the more we try to gratify our material desires, the more desire we want. Whereas spiritual life is opposite. Normally, a devotee, someone who is cultivating Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, is very satisfied with whatever they get. Very satisfied with what comes. A person who is practicing spiritual life, if it doesn't matter where they, what comes their way. Like one time, Chaitanya Prabhu, he was having a conversation, like a joking conversation. He was joking with Sridhar, Kolavicha Sridhar, in Navadvip that time. So Kolavicha Sridhar, he was a person who his profession was to sell banana leaves. He will sell banana leaves. That was his profession. And whatever money he makes from that selling, very little money. After all, how much money do you make by selling banana leaves? So whatever money he makes, he will use half of it to worship Mother Ganga, to give to the Brahmanas, and the other half, he will use that to maintain himself. So, which means he was always in a perpetual state of poverty. Even though he was always in a perpetual state of poverty, but he was always happy. He never feel any kind of morose. Because it's like, this is what Kṛṣṇa has given. If Kṛṣṇa has given this, then that is what a devotee is satisfied by. When Chaitanya Prabhu, when he was joking with Sridhar, he was joking with him, because every day Mahaprabhu will go to the Sridhar's place and will tell him that to give him some banana, or he will tell him to prepare some vegetables or something for him. Because Sridhar is a great devotee. So one time, Chaitanya Prabhu was telling Sridhar that, Sridhar, I think you have so much opulence. I think you have something. And then, of course, Sridhar said that, what I have is my, because he has only one cloth. Just one cloth, that's all he has. And then his house, the roof of his house is full of leakage. When it rains, because there was no proper covering, then there's always a lot of water falling into the house. So, when Chaitanya Prabhu told him that, I think you are simply hiding your wealth, But Sridhar said, what I have is my clothes, and this is enough for me. This is enough for me. Because Chaitanya Prabhu was telling him that, why are you not dressing yourself properly? He said that, what I'm dressing here, this is enough. I cover myself, that's enough. And my house is giving me some shelter, that is enough for me. That's enough for me. And then another time, when Chaitanya Prabhu, when he was instructing Raghunadas Goswami, Raghunadas Goswami was one of great devotees of Sri Chaitanya Prabhu. And Raghunadas Goswami, he came from a very, very rich family, extremely rich. As a matter of fact, Raghunath, his wealth was said to be rival that of Indra. That's how rich he was. And that time, being a young man, his parents, they are giving him a very, very beautiful woman to marry. But despite all this, Raghunadas was not attached, because his mind was always focused on the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Prabhu. So Raghunadas, from a rich family, but he was always thinking of Chaitanya Prabhu, and when he was staying at his home, he wanted to run away from the house. He wanted to run away to be with Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, but any time he tried to run away, his father will always bring him back, because his father, he had so many guards. He will send them to go and bring back Raghunath. So several times Raghunath tried to run away, and then so one time his mother told his father that Raghunath has become very mad. He has become a very mad person. I think we should bind him. We should bind him so that he will stop running away. So, and then the father replied, which is Govardhan Majumdar. So the father replied, said, well, for anyone who have attained the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, what can bind such a person in the material world? What can bind such a person in this world? So, in the course of time, Raghunath was able to get away. He was able to escape from his house, so he went to Puri and took shelter of Chaitanya Prabhu. And Chaitanya Prabhu, he put him under the guidance, the instruction of Saru Damodara. And then Raghunadas Goswami, he was so renounced, like anything, he was so renounced. He was so renounced that even though his father sent him some money so that he could feed himself, but Raghunadas will not accept it, because he considered it to be the money from the materialist. He will not accept it. So, then one time, Raghunadas, he has, through Saru Damodara, he asked Mahaprabhu he asked Mahaprabhu for some instruction. He wanted to hear some instruction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied that, well, I have given you to Saru Damodara. He's supposed to he's supposed to be instructing you, but if you want to hear some advice from me, this is my advice to you. Do not eat palatable food and do not sleep on a comfortable place. Don't eat palatable food. Do not wear fancy dress. Do not wear luxury dress. And if you do these three things, don't eat palatable food, don't wear luxury dress, not sleep on a comfortable arrangement, and then always be humble, chant Krishna's name, and if you do this, you will attain love of Krishna in due course of time. So the followers of Chaitanya Prabhu, they are very famous for renunciation, vairagya. That's what they are famous for. They are so, like when the Goswamis, when they came here to Vrindavan, because they were ordered by Chaitanya Prabhu to come to Vrindavan and to write the holy scriptures and to discover the holy place of pilgrimage. So when they came here, what they were doing is that they did not build some good ashram. He said, this Goswami, they were called Mandalapati. Mandalapati means they were so, in their materialistic life, they were so wealthy. They were so rich in their materialistic life. But they gave up everything. They gave up all their wealth. They gave up everything. They turned their back to their wealth as if sometime when you go to a toilet, you finish your passing, you leave the toilet, you don't look back. So that's how the Goswamis, that's how they renounced the material world. And then when they came to Vrindavan, what was their sleeping arrangement? The sleeping arrangement is that they were sleeping under different trees every night. Now many of us will come here, we immediately want very nice accommodation, MVT accommodation, guest house, different ashram, bhakti dham, all these things to make us feel very, 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 very comfortable. But the Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were sleeping under different trees every night. Why are they sleeping under different trees every night? They will not sleep on the same trees because they don't want to have attachment. They don't want to develop attachment because if they have to sleep under the same tree every night, so therefore they sleep under different trees, not on the same tree. But of course, what is their mood? What was their mentality? Hey Radhe Kṛṣṇa Bhajlatike Hey Nanda Suno Kota. That the Goswamis, all day, all night, what they were doing, they were going, roaming the forest of Vrindavan, crying out, Hey Kṛṣṇa, Hey Radhe, hey son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you? Hey Sunanda Kota. Kota means, where are you? Every day, lamenting, crying for Kṛṣṇa. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Kṛṣṇa? Is Nanda Suna, where are you? Nowadays we all come here to Vrindavan, we don't cry for Kṛṣṇa. What do? We cry for nice prasadam, nice MVT prasadam or Govinda restaurant. That's what we cry for. That's what we are shouting for. We don't cry for Kṛṣṇa. But if you don't cry for Kṛṣṇa, how can you get him? You cannot get Kṛṣṇa unless you cry for him. But in what mood do you cry for Kṛṣṇa? In the mood of the Goswamis, in their mood. So therefore, Kṛṣṇa prema, love of God, is not an easy thing. So like in Purport said that if one develop mode of goodness, but to develop the mode of goodness is only possible when there is the development of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. When one actually becomes Kṛṣṇa conscious, then the mode of goodness is developed. And the mode of goodness means one becomes very, very calm. One becomes very, very peaceful. Whereas the mode of passion, it incites passion. It entices, always in a hurry, always searching for materialistic sense gratification. There is no end to it. There is no end to it. So in spiritual life, one has to give up passion in spiritual life. One has to develop a sense of austerity. Like in the Bhagavatam, there is one sloka in the Bhagavatam when Lord Kṛṣṇa, when Lord Kṛṣṇa was talking to Brahma. So Lord Kṛṣṇa was talking to Brahmaji, and Lord Kṛṣṇa says, Sijami tapasa vedam, gasami tapasa punaham, bibami tapasa vishwan, vijame duscharan tapaha. So Lord Kṛṣṇa is telling old Brahma, he said, I create this world, this material world, by penance. I maintain it by same energy, and I withdraw it all by the same energy. Therefore, the potential power is penance. Penance means abstinence. Being abstinence, that's what it means. Not that to become greedy and keep trying to attain things. No, abstinence means being abstained from this so-called materialistic achievement. So that's why in the beginning of my lecture, I said that the famous book, whereby we say that how a monk soul is Ferrari. The soul is Ferrari. Because spiritual life means some austerity. That's what spiritual life means. For those who are in the mode of goodness, you always see them engaging in some kind of a tapasya, some kind of austerity, one way or the other. Whatever comes their way, they are very, very happy with it. Which means they never have any desire for anything that is difficult to achieve. They don't have desire for anything that is difficult to achieve. So Srila Prabhupada said, he said, in executing penance, one must be determined to return home back to Godhead and must decide to undergo all types of tribulations for that end. Even for material prosperity, name and fame, one has to undergo severe types of penance. Otherwise, no one can become an important figure in this material world. Even for materialistic achievement, you have to struggle for it. That's why you see so many crowparties, so many billionaires, you see them, because they are never happy in what they are doing, because they always have to work, they always have to struggle more and more to get more things. Like, I remember one time, one of the great sports person, Muhammad Ali, we were preaching to this fellow. We had cultivated this fellow, Muhammad Ali in America, one of the biggest boxer in the world. At this time, he was the biggest person, the biggest boxer. Somehow, he was cultivated by the devotees. And then he came to the temple. And then he was expressing, he said that, in my life, when I was growing up, I always dreamed that I could get any amount of money I want. I could get any amount of vehicles, cars I want. And I could get any amount of women that I want. And now, I have all these things. So my unlimited amount of money is there. Cars, fame, everything is there. He said, but there is not a single happiness in my life. Not a single happiness is there in my life. Because I have all these things, but I'm not happy. Because people are always coming to me for something. They're always coming to me for how to get their things. Everybody wants something from you. And people who are coming to you, they are not coming to you to ask for your welfare. They are simply coming to you simply what they can get from you. So therefore, a rich person, a materialistic, successful person in the material world will never be happy. But the moment you come to Krishna consciousness, you associate with the devotees, then at that time, you will see a difference in your life. So there was one time, there was a businessman, very successful, rich businessman. So and this person, he had no peace in his life. He had no happiness. And especially, he could not sleep. He couldn't sleep. He tried so much medicine to sleep. He could not sleep. So one time, he was asking a friend that, look, what to do? I'm unable to sleep. I cannot sleep. I've tried all kind of medicine. I cannot sleep. So his friend told him, he said, well, he knows one sadhu. This sadhu is there in his temple, and maybe you can go and see him. He may be able to have some advice, some medicine for you to sleep. He said, okay. So this businessman, he went to the ashram. He went to the ashram of the sadhu. And it was evening time, normally at our temple, 7 o'clock, we have, the arti. And after the arti, normally in our temples, apart from here, normally the Bhagavad Gita class is after the arti. So the arti is 7 o'clock, and the Gita class starts at 7:30. That's our normal program in every temple. So this businessman, he went to the temple, and it was around 7 p.m., so the kirtan was going on. So the sadhu was there, the temple was full, and the kirtan was going on. And the kirtan was going on, so he stood behind the temple. He stood behind, so he was waiting for when everything would be over, so that he could go and approach the sadhu. So he went. He was standing. Kirtan was going on, and then the kirtan finished. So when the kirtan finished, everyone sat down, and the sadhu was giving lecture. So this man, he also sat down. He was listening to the lecture. He was listening to it. So the sadhu was speaking, but as he was listening, all of a sudden, he was falling asleep. So he was falling asleep, and some disciples tried to tell him not to sleep, because normally, devotees, the best time to sleep is during the class. So when this gentleman was sleeping, and then the devotee tried to tell him that, oh, don't sleep. The sadhu said, leave him alone. Medicine is applied. Because the sadhu can see, he knows who is there in the temple. He said, oh, leave him alone. Medicine is applied. So this particular day, this person slept through the class, and then He kept sleeping. He slept throughout the whole night. He slept. So the next morning, he woke up, and he was very surprised that he slept all night long. He never had this kind of sleep before. So he went to the sadhu and asked him, "What kind of medicine you have given me? What kind of medicine is this that I never sleep like this my entire life?" So the sadhu said, "Okay, you want more medicine? Just keep coming. You keep coming every day, hear the kirtan, hear the class, your sleep problem will be solved." So in this way, by gradually coming every day, then he developed attachment, to spiritual activities. In this way, everything became okay for him. So basically, in material life, materialistic achievement, there's never any satisfaction. There's only sorrow that is there. But spiritual life, is peacefulness, Kṛṣṇa consciousness, which is born out of the mode of goodness, which there's peace. Because there's no hankering. When there's no hankering, the only hankering is for Kṛṣṇa. So therefore, everyone is happy. So therefore, as I said, that material life, no one is happy. It said that Kṛṣṇa Bhakta, Niskam Ataiva Santo, Bhakti Mukti Siddhi Kame, Sakaliya Santo, that devotees of Kṛṣṇa, they are always happy because they have no desire. But whereas others, because they are full of desires, they are never happy. Never happiness is never there. So therefore, let us cultivate the mode of goodness by being less desirous of materialistic achievement. So I'm going to stop here. If there is any question? Were you able to hear me? Is it? Am I audible? Huh? Okay. So thank you very much for listening. Jai Prabhupada ki Gopi Manande.